Greetings, everybody. This is Howard speaking. Ironically, we're live at 6:11 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7/28/2018. I am a QHHT Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique Level 2 practitioner, and I just had the most amazing session yesterday. I have my client's permission to share with you what we talked about. But first, a lot of people have a lot of questions about the reality we live in, the dirt beneath our feet, this thing that we call the earth. A lot of debate about is it round, is it low, stuff like that. So before I get into my client session, I just want to touch base first on what we know as a fact about the earth that we live on, the dirt beneath our feet. Let me go to screen share here. So let's move over here to Bird. You can, I'll put the links later on below. You can just go into the YouTube search engine, Bird. You can watch Bird talk about. He's an admiral. He took an expedition. He went beyond the South Pole. He flew for a couple thousand miles. He said there's a few thousand miles of water, and then there's another continent that is as big as America. He describes it as having all kinds of natural resources and coal and all kinds of things, and you can listen to this guy talk about it himself. There's also a well-known book out there. It's rather expensive to buy it, but it's called Beyond. It's called. One second. It's called Beyond the Poles. So it's Beyond the Poles. Apparently, back in the day, an explorer managed to go beyond, as we say, the ice ring, and he sailed out into the oceans and discovered lands. He talks about that in the book. And then also we have some good old Japanese Buddhists had this coveted, closely guarded map, and they kept it hidden from the world. They didn't want to be taken, And it's just kind of ironic how, when you look at the center here, looks just like the flat earthers say the flat earth map. It's also the UN map. And then Admiral Byrd, if you see the arrow here, he went this way, and he hit this continent here. So it's an exact description according to Admiral Byrd. He flew a couple thousand miles over water, he found land, and there you go. It's America. America. And I've also had clients who have let me back up here. So anyway, getting back to let me give you a little bit more of a background here. So basically I've had many clients report that the earth that we live in is pretty much this structure, but then again, it's also on a globe. So we just happen to be on a flat part of a very large globe, is what I'm getting from a lot of my clients. So that's the reality that we live in. So going back in time about this reality that we live in. Basically, this place was created, and it had a purpose. And there's what is known as the founder rays that goes around and creates these planets, as it will, these solar systems. And then they leave. But what happened one day in this solar system, after it got created, there's what is known as the Luciferian force, as people like to say. It's energy that's just the opposite of us. Some people say it's a rebellion to God. Others just say they're cut off from God, so they have to use other, like artificial intelligence and stuff to survive. But basically, that force that does exist, it is real, and it does exist out there. And basically, one day after the founders created this place and left, all the species came in and took it over. That's what happened. And then it was designed for a certain purpose, but the purpose that it was designed for got taken over by this other force, the Luciferian force, if you will. And so then all the people that were here, all the souls, spirits, began to cry out. They cried and they cried. They're going, oh, help me God, why, and this and that. And so the cries went out into the universe very loudly, and they were heard. And then all the benevolent beings and all the ones that heard the cry came. And when it came, basically said, what the hell's going on here? And then it became known that, this place was quite a mess. So there was many high councils that met, and meetings were held, and, if you will, focus groups, and all kinds of meetings were held amongst the celestial beings of the universe. And at the end of the day, everybody came to the same conclusion. We can't fix the damn thing. Yeah, you know it, right? The damn thing. No one could figure out how to fix it. Can you believe that? Think about that. That's pretty good crazy, isn't it? So then somebody came up with the idea, let's break the whole damn thing. Let's just break it apart, let it breathe, kind of like a fine glass of wine. Let's chill out, let's relax for a minute. And everybody said, hey, that's a great idea. So one version of this is what I'm about to explain is not to be taken literally. It is to be, as in English we say, a parable. So this is a parable. Because we are talking about extremely higher dimensional things like the 26th dimension. We're trying to explain this to you in the physical third or fourth dimension as you are. So this is the best representation we have. It's not to be taken literally. It's only variable. Now we have spoken our disclaimer and we move on. So the earth was broken into, I forgot to say. So you have the earth the way it was. And basically, they did a hologram print of it and mirrored it. And I'm using English words. It's not to be taken literally. It's not, basically, they create a holographic earth, and then they split it apart into like a slinky and into a whole bunch of individual parts. And let's say we're naughty, this crime, this, whatever your problem is, everything went to a different portion, as you will, on the slinky. There's one representation that happened. And then specialty teams were brought in, each earth one by one. And then eventually we get brought back into one earth. So basically, another representation of where we live is some folks have done a lot of scientific gathering and data. That's why the holographic universe is very popular, because the two realities. We are down to two Earths. There's the original Earth, that's real, and then there's this other, let's just call it a subspace in reality, where we recreated the Earth and then split it apart into a whole bunch of Earths, many Earths, so that they could breathe and be healed, and then they could be brought back into one. And now the Earths are being brought back into one. And this is the scientific representation of those.
The scientists did measurements of the universe and came up with this model. Gee, doesn't that look a lot like the model that we were just shown? I'm going to back that up a little. So this is, again, the model of the universe that we live in. So you're looking at the universe with it?
So my client the other day basically said that the universe kind of looked like a burrito. So here we go. It looks like a burrito. And basically, all these, all the cursor here, these would be, if you think of the slinky model, all the different Earths, they're all being brought back into one Earth. Once it's brought back into one Earth, then basically what's going to happen is we're going to have what you call the event. And this energetic above us is going to be lifted. For the first time, everybody's going to be able to look out and see into the true reality. It's going to split open like a veil being ripped open, Unfortunately, some people are going to still require it. I'm only going to say this because I know those people are not listening to me. But just to let you folks know, yes, some people are going to just lose their cookies and die of fright on the spot when they see the Skype recording. It's basically, unfortunately, it's going to happen to some. That's unfortunate. But anyway, other people will begin to ascend and immediately transmute and just ascend. Some people will hang out for a little bit and help others. Some people, everybody's going to have their own little experience and experiencing this thing in very different ways. And then some massive energy is going to be flowing into this place and healing the place. And there'll be a time where people will discover what true reality is. And then there will be what we really, the true event. The true event is basically everyone is one, and they're going to go through a dimensional portal. There's going to be like golden rings. Sounds kind of funny, but there's going to be like these golden rings, and you're going to move these golden rings and back. Oops,
So we have
back into the original Earth, the real one, and everything back again. But the story doesn't end there. So then the question came up. If you look at the current Earth today, half of it is ocean. And so the client drifted forward to that moment in time to see if any land mass was here. And the client was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. He's watching all these volcanoes going off and this rocky landscape appear out. And basically, she saw another Earth emerge out on that part of Earth that's all ocean. And a new Earth emerges, but not by the Earth that you used to think of. This is going to be a reset Earth, like a 0.0 reset. They're going to do the whole damn thing all over again. They're going to run the whole experiment all over again. So there's going to be volcanoes going on, the land created, and they're going to do this. Have bad luck next time. So anyway, that's why all the land is kind of moving to one side of the Earth. Now the question is the stars. So if you know about the planets, half the planets right now are one half of the solar system. So we have one half of the whole solar system that has no planets. And basically what is happening over there is that as you look at this reality in front of you, this reality in front of you is going to appear rather flat on the other side of our solar system. So it's starting to appear, it looks kind of flat. There's merged and more and more part of this reality. So we're actually going to have basically two solar systems. On one side, and then this new dimensional reality system on the other side. So there's a new dimension, a new Earth, a new solar system, all that stuff is slowly emerging on the other half of the solar system. So that's why you have, that's why all the planets are the sun to make room for this other reality. So once this other reality comes in, this is going to be another great event, and that's when you're able to choose. If you want to go by the Earth or if you can hang out here, everything will, you'll have plenty of time to decide, plenty of time to learn and grow. It's going to be beautiful. Really, really fun. And everything's going very well. And of course, there is going to be. All right. Take it. I went down there. Oh my gosh. The good old Lucifer guy. I forgot about him. So anyway, it's been decided that in all the Earth realities, third and fourth dimension, so to speak, will be extinguished, so to speak. Everyone's going to ascend to 5G Earth. There will be the evil Lucifer 5G Earth, They've said it's true, and there will be the true source God of pure joy, money, or so the earth will ascend, both evil and good, and split once again to evil and good, as we say. And Luciferian force will be left with demons that are now in the fifth dimension, and they're weak, and they can see him, and they can know all his tricks. So he will no longer be able to do the things that he has been done to you in the past. So they will, all the things he will be able to do for him, he can no longer do, and that extinguishes that problem. So we can resolve that issue. So even in as you say, the other Luciferian things will be much different. People will be much more empowered. They'll be able to fight the students. They'll be able to fight better. Excuse me. So that's what's going to happen there. And then we'll be able to go where we want to go. And then, everything's going to be, in essence, restored to the divine plan, let's say. The divine plan is going to be enacted and enforced. So that's the next time, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. We're going through a lot of different shifts. A lot of different shifts. People are experiencing all kinds of what we call shift or inaction. A lot of emotions are coming up because basically what's happening out there is out in that burrito style universe, pancake, whatever the thing is. All the timelines are out there and they're coming together to be merged. All of the histories, emotions, everything's being intertwined and brought back to the point at a rather rapid pace. So a lot of people are going through a lot of interesting emotions, a lot of different feelings, a lot of it's a bumpy ride. I'll just say that. It's a rather bumpy ride for folks right now. But it's okay, just get through it. And things are going to be fine. I think things are going to happen rather soon here for everybody. So until next time, everybody. God bless.